Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, let's talk about one of the fights coming up on the weekend with Vasily Lomachenko. 15-2 with 11 KOs. Used to be #1 pound for pound. Everybody, because of his background and amateur background and his extreme, sublime talent, has given him that title of #1 pound for pound. He's still about #6 pound for pound right now, even though he's 15-2. Right? So, he's a very good fighter versus Richard Comey. And Richard Comey is also a lightweight, juggernaut. He would be in the top 6, the names that we hear, because this man is 30-3, with 27 KOs. Now, everybody might look at the fact that he got beat by Teofimo Lopez. He got stopped early, got clipped early, round 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken. And, you might judge from there. But his other losses, listen, he got a split decision loss against a guy named Denis Shafikov in Russia. And I tell you all guys all the time, a split decision loss in somebody's hometown means you probably got a draw or you beat them. That's what that means, right? So he was definitely in that fight without me even having seen it against Shafikov in Russia. And then he lost a split decision to Robert Easter Jr., which that you can happen. Right, so now I hadn't seen that fight as well. So from what I hear, that was extremely close too. So this guy's not used to losing. So we better be careful with Richard Comey. But I just think that Lomachenko might be a tad bit too fast for him. But let's see what happens when that fight goes on, right? But it's a decent fight. And in the lightweight division, we've had fights of late between your boy Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz, then Gervonta Tank Davis versus your boy Isaac Cruz. So, people have been fighting. Then you had Teofimo Lopez and Kambosos. So there's a, lightweight is going on. This is the last one of the major lightweights guys that's going on, and we'll see what's going to happen after that. We all want to see Undisputed, or most of us want to see Undisputed, but whatever. Now, I've been telling you guys that, we're not going to get the Undisputed fight in the lightweight division. They're going to do everything that they can to make sure that Devin Haney doesn't fight Kambosos, because there's a possibility that Devin Haney can win. They can't have that, because if that happens, then all of the shenanigans stop. Everybody understands that now who comes here. Now, I also told you that Lomachenko is going to be the one that they prefer to fight Kambosos, because if he beats Kambosos, that's it with the real Undisputed. They're never going to mention it again, because they would definitely say that Lomachenko is undisputed. Guaranteed. All they would have to do is beat Kambosos. They would leave Devin Haney's real title, WC, out. Right? So, anyway, so, ESPN, who I have no more trust to for a long time, right? Long time. But ESPN, did an interview with Vasily Lomachenko, and, it's a lot of things in there that are extremely egregious. And, I'm going to go read through a few of them and just show you what I mean by that, right? Because, we'll get to it afterwards. And I'll explain to it. Well, let's read a little bit of what's going on. I'll show you some of the points. I'm not going to read it all because I'm going to put this article in the description box. But it's from ESPN, which means it reaches a lot of people. And if you have these kind of narratives, that's why people can get blinded. The ones who really don't know. A lot of people know these things that aren't true and happy that it's that kind of narrative out there. But the people that really don't know, they watch ESPN and think that they know what the hell they're talking about, which they do. But they just won't tell you some of the truths, right? So check this out, right? This is Mark Kriegel from ESPN. We all know him. Anyway, former pound-for-pound king Vasily Lomachenko steps back into the ring Saturday night at Madison Square Garden to face Richard Comey at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN+, right? It will be Lomachenko's second fight since a shocking loss to Teofimo Lopez that stripped Lomachenko of his 3 lightweight titles. Right, let me see. Let me scroll down again a little bit, right? In his first fight after losing to Lopez, Lomachenko became the first man to stop Masayoshi Nakatani, making a statement against a former Lopez opponent who took Lopez the distance. That's true. This fight against Comey was supposed to bring Lomachenko back to Lopez, but Kambosos Jr., upset 2 weeks ago, sent the lightweight division spinning. 2 other lightweight standouts, Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis, secured victories of their own this past weekend, but neither was overly impressive. Now it's Lomachenko's turn, and the 33-year-old star has only one dream in mind: become an undisputed champion at 135 pounds. Right? Now, we'll read one more sentence. Lomachenko sat down with Mark Kriegel on Thursday to discuss his future. his mindset, and why some have even given him a new nickname, Voldemort, right? That's that guy from Harry Potter that no one wanted to mess with, right? So they're saying that my man Lomachenko's goal is to become undisputed lightweight division, right? Now, why would that be egregious? Why would that be, sending you the false narrative? Because Lomachenko could be undisputed in the lightweight division. First of all, he had the WBC title, right? Right, and he was told he had to fight his mandatory in Devin Haney. The winner goes and fight Teofimo Lopez. Comey, matter of fact, Richard Comey winner. Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Comey. So we had a 4-man tournament for undisputed. Lomachenko then calls up the WBC to ask them to give him the same belt that they gave, the Charlo belt is what it's called. The belt they gave to Canelo for not fighting Charlo. Some call it the franchise belt. It's the Charlo belt, right? So Lomachenko calls and asks for the Charlo belt, and the WBC gives him, which means he doesn't have to fight his mandatory. So the WBC gives him the Charlo belt, the franchise title, and elevates Devin Haney to the real champion. So he goes and fight, Lomachenko being he, goes and fight Teofimo Lopez and loses. So you weren't going to be undisputed in the first place because you didn't fight your mandatory to fight for that belt. So that belt was out. So Lomachenko's fault. But then he loses to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to fight Devin Haney for undisputed. So Lomachenko, your boy, could have fought Devin Haney to get Devin Haney's real belt and then ask for Teofimo Lopez for a rematch to become undisputed. There's 2 opportunities right there. Bottom line is, the only problem with that is, in both scenarios, you would have to fight Devin Haney. So for him to not do that, there you have it, right? So let's get into some of the questions, right? Let's see what happens. Let's go. Kriegel is talking to him. He says, Vasily, you're #1 in the WBC and in the WBO. This is the second-ranked big guy you're facing since the defeat. What do you want to happen here? And this Lomachenko, it's the next step to my goal now. I have a dream, being undisputed world champion. I failed to fulfill my dream, right? So here is the deal. He just told him you're #1 in the WBC, which would mean you're going to be the mandatory for Devin Haney. You can go get a title right there because Lomachenko's talking about belts. He can get a title right there by fighting Devin Haney because now you're Devin Haney's mandatory. He was yours. You didn't want to fight him. Now you're his. And are you talking about Devin Haney? Still not. So why are they saying that in the article? Right? So they ask him about being an undisputed champion, right? And does it hurt him and stuff like that. But I'm going to go down, he also explains, they ask him, tell me about Richard Comey. What makes him dangerous, right? And then Loma says he's a tough guy. He has power. He has experience. He has reach. He is taller than me. And he understands boxing. And they ask him about his weaknesses. And Loma said, I ain't telling y'all about his weaknesses, not yet at least. We'll talk about that further. But I'm going to go down, right? Because you guys can read all of it. But I'm going to go down to what irked me, right? What irked me was he said. We'll go down to it. Let me see. Now, this is what Mark Kriegel from ESPN asked him. This is when I, basically have to, tune out from the article. Everybody talks on social media, but no one calls you out. Why? And he asked Lomachenko. Everybody talks on social media, but no one calls you out. Why? That is totally untrue. But let's see what Lomachenko says. I don't know. I read some comment on my post yesterday, and one guy writes, nobody called Lomachenko because Lomachenko now like Voldemort from the movie Harry Potter. Everybody's scared of this man, scared to say his name. Now, there you have that. Now, that's ESPN, and they will say that out open, like no one calls him out, right? And here's the deal. When Devin Haney was Lomachenko's mandatory, he was calling him Nomachenko. Openly, and all openly. I'm sure in social media, on all of his interviews, Lomachenko, because Lomachenko wouldn't fight him as his mandatory. Now, that's calling him out. Everyone knows, it's documented, that Devin Haney calls Lomachenko out all the time. But to say that no one is calling him out is egregious. That's just, we're going to put a false narrative. And as far as the guy calling him Voldemort, that no one wants to call him out Voldemort, I will guarantee you this. This is without me knowing. Y'all know I ain't see me interviewing nobody and being live and interviewing people and stuff like that, right? if Devin Haney hears or reads this article, or someone talks to Devin Haney and tells him about this article, he reads this article, Voldemort, he will not be saying that. Devin Haney will come out on one of his social medias or in his next interview and say, Vol no more. Vol no more, Vol no more, Vol no more. Just like Lomachenko. He ain't gonna call him Voldemort no more. He's gonna call him Vol no more. Vol no more. Because you don't want to fight no more. You didn't ever want to fight. Right? Just like Lomachenko. This is what he's gonna do. Remember I told you, Vol no more. That's what's going to happen. Devin Haney, when he hears that, he's going to go straight to call him. Because he's been calling him out the whole time. Mark Kriegel knows it. ESPN knows it. And that's the problem that we're having with boxing right now. Now, the article keeps going on, and it's keep talking, and all of that. We'll talk about that. But when it comes to ESPN, this stuff is ridiculous, right? Just like when we had Deontay Wilder, we had the glove gate, and all those things going on with the gloves. No one would mention them at all. And you can't tell me that you couldn't get a mystery documentary with the Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and those gloves, right? You put some good music with it, and you show the glove, the close-ups from the Deontay Wilder 1 fight, the Deontay Wilder 2 fight. You show the referee how disgusted he was when he saw the gloves at the beginning of the Christian Hammer fight, right? Then you invite John McDermott, for interviews and show his old interviews with mysterious music when he's saying that his gloves, that Tyson Fury didn't want to wear the right gloves for their second fight after John McDermott should have won the first fight, right? And then the same scenario. Then you show interviews of his sparring partners, right? Then you bring in the fact that he's been doped 2 or 3 times on cocaine and nandrolone, that he doesn't have a boxing license in England, and then you throw in the Daniel Kinahan story with the mafia boss in Dubai somewhere, right? And you throw in the Martin Carefoot story, the guy who said that he didn't give him wild boar to give the positive nandrolone test, and the 7-year-old man has to be, they're going to have to, he has to go undercover because people come to his house, right? All of those things, you can't get a mystery documentary on ESPN, right? You can't. No one in the whole, all the writers and beat writers in the back, no one came up with that. No, like I told you then, I'm telling you now, ESPN gets them in a meeting. Don't none one of y'all come in here with no damn articles about them damn gloves with Tyson Fury if you still want your job. We're not talking about that. He signed for us, and we want him to beat Wilder, and we like that he's the one that people think is the better one. We don't give a damn if he cheat. We don't care if he has a track record of cheating. We don't give a damn about none of it. Bottom line is, if Deontay Wilder ain't gonna sue the man, then we ain't gonna talk about it. That's what's happening. And y'all better not talk about it, not around here on this. And so that's what basically all the mainstream media had a meeting to do that, right? And that's what they're doing with Lomachenko. You can't say that nobody never calls Lomachenko out, right? Devin Haney has been. He's been begging to fight him. But that's how they do. They act like Demetrius Andrade ain't never said nothing to Canelo Alvarez. Man, you got to do more if you want the fight. Well, doing more than being banned from coming to his press conferences. And even when he finally slipped through there, the last one, you're a horrible fighter, get out, right? Right? No matter what happens, the people been trying to get these fights, but the media helps them. So this is just another example, people, of why I'm so pessimistic and why I know what the hell the time it is, and you should too. This is how Negro League fighters get treated, because we're going to make sure you don't get the belt, and we ain't helping you with no publicity, right? The best case scenario is no one knows who the hell you are, so we can glorify this dude here. Lomachenko is not a bad fighter. Lomachenko is good. But to say, while Roy Jones, as a matter of fact, on the same broadcast, that you've never seen some of these things that Lomachenko does, I don't know why Roy Jones' head didn't explode. Scanners up in this mind. You know what I'm saying? How the hell, say, hey, this guy we never seen that, Roy Jones, I did that in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? But they would say that right in front of him. I didn't understand how that would work out. So at the end of the day, just stay woke. Bottom line, Lomachenko's good. He's probably going to beat Comey, right? But he's not the best lightweight. He has to prove that first. And there is no way on the planet, that no one never calls out Lomachenko, because maybe if you say begging is worse, because I know Devin Haney has been begging, and he shouldn't have to, because he was his mandatory. Now your boy your boy Lomachenko is the #1 at the WBC. Maybe they don't want to call it, the WBC don't want to call it the mandatory, because then Devin Haney will start saying, what's up? But the WBO, now he's the #1 at the WBO. And what are they trying to do? Already force your boy Kambosos to fight Lomachenko. But they, I guarantee you, WBC won't force Lomachenko to fight Devin Haney. Or WBC say, hey, you know, Devin Haney, you're forced to fight Lomachenko. They won't. They're going to leave it alone because they don't want Devin Haney to fight Lomachenko, and they don't want him to fight Kambosos. If they could force him to fight Gervonta Tank Davis or Shakur Stevenson or something like that, they would. But they ain't leave Lomachenko alone, and definitely leave Kambosos alone. Mark my words. That's what's going on right in front of your eyes, and I'm just trying to help you open them up, y'all. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.